Lily Aldrin is the villain of How I Met Your Mother. I said what I said, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Welcome back to Raymond Mosby. Look, I love this show. I've probably watched it start to finish like 5 times at this point. And for years, I just accepted the story the show was telling me, that Lily is the sweet kindergarten teacher, the mom of the group, the glue holding everyone together. That's the narrative. That's what Ted and Marshall and the laugh track want you to believe. But honestly, on my last rewatch, something just clicked in my brain and I couldn't stop noticing it. Lily is the reason almost every bad thing happens to these 5 people. Not Barney, not Ted's whining. Lily. The kindergarten teacher with the cute little cardigans is pulling strings the whole time and nobody in the group ever really calls her on it. And I'm gonna walk you through why I think that, because once I started paying attention, the whole show flipped for me. I'm gonna save the absolute worst thing she does for the middle because it's the one that made me pause the episode and just sit there. But first I wanna talk about the thing that I think casual fans kind of brush off, and it's the one that honestly kicked this whole realization off for me. So let's talk about San Francisco. Here's the setup. Marshall proposes to Lily. Beautiful moment, she says yes. They're engaged. And then like a week later, she basically bails on him to go do an art fellowship across the entire country. And the show plays it like, oh, Lily's having cold feet. She needs to find herself. It's a growth arc. That's how Marshall frames it later too, because Marshall is the sweetest man alive and he'd forgive Lily for literally anything. But think about what actually happened from Marshall's side. This guy builds his entire life around her. He's in law school, he's planning the wedding, he's picking out napkins, and she just ghosts him. She doesn't have a conversation, she doesn't say, hey, I'm not sure. She accepts the ring, lets him spend money, lets him tell his family, and then disappears. And when she comes back, it's Marshall who has to do the emotional work of forgiving her. She doesn't even really grovel. There's that scene where she comes back and it's treated like this romantic reunion, and I remember watching it the first time and going, oh. Now I watch it and I'm like, dude, she broke him. Because here's the thing people forget. Marshall was a wreck. Like, genuinely destroyed. He was eating his feelings, he couldn't function, Ted had to babysit him. That's not a guy going through a rough patch, that's a guy whose entire future just got ripped away by the person he trusted most. And she did it because she wanted to. That's it. There's no deeper reason. She just wanted to. And I mean, people do selfish things, I get it. We're all human. But the show never really makes her pay for it. She just comes back and everything resets. Marshall eats the pain and moves on, because that's who Marshall is. And I think that one move set the tone for the entire rest of the series. Because Lily learned something really dangerous in that moment. She learned that she can do whatever she wants and Marshall will take her back. Every single time. And she uses that knowledge constantly after that. Watch the show again with that in mind and tell me I'm wrong. That part is rough, but if you don't understand this next thing about Lily, then honestly the whole show doesn't make sense. Because this is the one that made me actually put my drink down. Lily breaks up Ted's relationships. On purpose. Like, as a hobby. Okay, so the show jokes about this. They have that whole bit where Lily admits she's sabotaged every girl Ted has ever dated because she doesn't think they're good enough. It's played for laughs. Haha, Lily's so protective of her friend. Isn't that sweet? No, it's not sweet. It's insane. This is Ted's entire adult life. This is the guy who is desperately, painfully trying to find the love of his life. The whole show is literally called How I Met Your Mother. That is his one thing. That is his entire personality. And his best friend, his supposed best friend, is actively torpedoing it behind his back for years and years. And I don't even think she felt bad about it. She says it so casually. She lists off the women like she's reading a grocery list. And Ted, because he's Ted, just kind of laughs and goes, oh, Lily. No, man. Be mad. Be furious. She cost you years of your life. She cost you relationships that maybe could have been something. But here's where my brain actually short-circuited. Think about Robin. Robin and Ted in season 1. That was the relationship the whole pilot was built around. And who is the one constantly pushing Ted and Robin together and then pulling them apart and then pushing them together again? It's Lily. She's the one running that whole operation. She tells Ted that Robin is the one, she tells Robin that Ted is the one, she meddles. Constantly. And every single time Ted and Robin try to move on and be happy with other people, Lily is in the background going, but what if you two got back together? She plants the seed. She waters it. She will not let it die. And I think she does it because she needs the group to stay exactly the same forever. That's her whole deal. Lily cannot handle change. You see it in every single episode. Anytime someone in the group tries to grow up, move away, date somebody serious. Lily finds a way to pull them back into the friend group orbit. She sabotaged Ted's relationships because a serious girlfriend meant Ted would spend less time at the bar with her. That's it. That's the whole reason. It wasn't about protecting him, it was about keeping her little group intact so her life would never have to change. And when you see that, you start seeing it everywhere. You start noticing how Lily reacts when Marshall gets a job opportunity. You notice how she reacts when anybody talks about moving. You notice that she is constantly, quietly, making sure nobody in that booth ever actually leaves. It just blows my mind how the show frames this as her being a good friend. She's not being a good friend, she's being a warden. And Ted is the one who paid the biggest price for it because Ted is the one whose whole life was about finding someone, and Lily made sure that took as long as humanly possible. I'm gonna be honest, after I really sat with this one, I had to take a break from the show for a minute because it just hit different. Like every romantic scene of Ted meeting a girl now has this shadow over it where I'm just waiting for Lily to show up and blow it up. And she does. She always does. Okay, so the second one is heavy, the third one is a little lighter, but I still think it matters because it shows you her pattern. And the pattern is what makes all of this click. This one is about Barney. So Barney is a mess. We all know that. Barney is a disaster of a human being and he needs help. And for a minute there, he actually gets it. He falls in love with Robin, real love, the kind that changes you, and he starts becoming a better person. He's loyal, he's trying, he's doing the work. It's beautiful. And then the whole Barney and Robin thing goes through a million rough patches, and honestly, who is right there the whole time making it worse? Lily. I mean, Lily is the one who constantly tells Robin that Barney isn't good enough. Lily is the one who is whispering in people's ears, stirring the pot, treating Barney like he's still the playboy idiot from season 1 even after he's clearly trying to change. And look, I get it, Barney earned some of that skepticism. Fair, but there's a difference between being cautious and being actively hostile. And Lily is actively hostile toward Barney's growth because, again, if Barney grows up, he leaves the group too. You see how this works now? It's the same move every time. Somebody tries to evolve, Lily finds a way to drag them back down to where they started. Marshall wants to be an environmental lawyer. She spends his money. Ted wants to find his soulmate. She torches his dates. Barney wants to become a real human being. She tells everyone he can't change. And the Marshall money thing, that's the one I'm still not over, by the way. I didn't even notice this until my third rewatch, but Lily has a secret credit card debt, like tens of thousands of dollars. And she hides it from Marshall. Marshall, who is working himself to death at a job he hates so they can afford to have a family. And she's just out here buying stuff and not telling him. And when it finally comes out, it's treated like a cute little marriage hiccup. No, it's not. That's financial infidelity. That's a huge deal. In real life, that ends marriages. In the show, Marshall gives her a hug. This is just my opinion, but I think the writers knew. I think they knew exactly what they were doing with Lily, and they just trusted the audience to not look too closely. Because Allison Hannigan is so charming, and the music is so warm and the jokes are so fast that you just don't stop to ask, hey, why is this woman the center of every disaster in this friend group? Because that's the thing. Every bad thing that happens in this show, you can trace a line back to Lily. The long wait for the mother, Lily's sabotaging Ted's love life for a decade, Marshall's career struggles, Lily's spending, and Lily's refusal to let him move for the job he wanted. Robin and Barney falling apart eventually? Lily was never really in their corner. Even the apartment drama, the moving drama, the wedding drama, she's in the middle of every single one of them, stirring. And I'm not saying she's evil. I don't think Lily wakes up in the morning cackling. I think she genuinely loves these people. That's what makes it so messed up. She loves them so much that she can't stand the thought of losing them, and that love turns into control. She'd rather keep them miserable and close than let them be happy and far away. And that is a specific kind of damage that I think a lot of people actually recognize from their own lives. We all know a Lily. Maybe some of us are a Lily. That's why the show works even when you notice all this stuff, because it's real. But once you see her as the quiet center of all the chaos instead of the sweet wife keeping everyone together, the whole show changes. You stop rooting for her. You start feeling really bad for Marshall. You start getting angry for Ted. You start wanting Barney to just run. And the finale, man, the finale hits completely differently when you realize that the group basically fell apart. The second Lily couldn't hold them in one place anymore. That's not a coincidence. That's the whole show telling you, quietly, who was really running things. So yeah, Lily Aldrin, kindergarten teacher, best friend, wife, mom, And the person who cost her 4 best friends years of their actual lives. I still love the show. I'll probably watch it again next year. But I'm never going to watch Lily the same way again, and honestly, I don't think you will either. She didn't destroy them with one big moment. She destroyed them with 1,000 small ones, and she was smiling the whole time.